Welcome to the Spirit and Soul Healing Podcast, where we speak about all things related to spirituality, soul level healing, intuitive guidance, frequencies, and much more. I'm Amy Sikarskie, licensed vocational nurse, past life hypnotherapist, master intuitive energy healer, and a clairvoyant physical channel. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Spirit School Online, where we offer courses in energy therapy, free guided meditations, courses and information around learning to connect in with your spirit guides, and much more. You can find me at amysikarskie.com and offerings at spiritschoolonline.com. Every time I start Zoom, it's so loud. The audio that says recording in progress just blares in my ear. Just like blasts. I'm going to have to remember that. So yeah. Okay, here we go. Hi, and welcome to this bonus feature for the Spirit and Soul Healing Podcast. I'm Amy Sikarskie, and today what I like to bring through and talk about are some follow-ups and some experiences that I've had through conversations after episode 1 on clarity. I've been contacted by so many of you, and thank you so much. It just really warms my heart. It's super encouraging to hear that my experiences are inspiring, supporting you, and helping you in your healing process as well. So one of the messages that came through was on the YouTube share, where I do put some of the episodes on YouTube through a video format. And she was asking about her upcoming session that she'll be having with an energy therapist and advice on preparing. So really, it's so individualized, but I can share some tips that I have. And a lot of times we understand what we're going through. There's tends to be a specific reason that we're booking a session. Some of us have a standing session with our therapist, just like we would with a talk therapist. Or, I think about like, okay, you go every 6 months and get your teeth cleaned. So how often do you want to go before having somebody else help you clean your energy? And it's up to us individually. But if you're feeling this guidance to go have a session and you're not quite sure why or what that's about, some of the tips that I have are to be open to the experience. As you're feeling the promptings and the guidance to go have a session, it's a space and time that you are connecting in and you're listening. Your guides, higher self, the energy of spirit can understand, oh, we got through. They're on board, and they might even want to communicate a little bit more with you what it's about. So the days leading up, be open to just being aware, conscious, and observant for memories or themes that might come up, conversations. If you see topics consistently arise in conversations prior to your session, kind of just feel into it, tune into it, feel into it with your heart. And on the day of your appointment, you want to prepare ahead of time physically so that you're not rushing to get there. And you've got a comfortable outfit selected. If you have children, you have their daycare set up. If it's a new place, you have the map, you have it all mapped out. You know how to get there, you know how much time it will take. You might even want to arrive a little bit earlier. So once you're prepared, once you just stay open to the possibilities that the most beautiful experience can assist you in this healing session, and you show up, you can share with your therapist that there's not a specific reason that you consciously are aware of as to what might be going on or why you are there. And then you can share a little bit about your insights and what you do know and see what they can share with you from the session. See what comes up in your own experience. Every therapist and each of us are so unique. Every session is very unique. So your therapist might get information. But if they don't, or if you don't, please know that the shift, the healing, the moment is important. It is taking place. The energy often in these moments when we're not quite too sure what it's about, it can start out further in your aura and come closer to your physical body. And you can look at that as a pathway of time. So it might take a few days for it to click and sink in. It's very individualized. I feel like I keep repeating that, but it's important to share that you don't want to judge. You don't want to overanalyze. You don't want to stress. Just go into your session with an open heart. Know that at a minimum, you're going to get your energy cleared, your chakras rebalanced, and potentially DNA activations, past life healing can happen, a repair of a chakra or aura, regovernance. So facilitation to govern the flow of energy in your body. Maybe you'll feel more grounded after. The clear senses can be ignited. And also relationships with others can shift and heal. So these are all moments and experiences that you can have during the session. And then afterwards, you'll have an integration process. And in that process, also be open to self-care, safety and protection for your energy, and that you don't want to be in any really hectic or emotionally charged conversations or spaces as your system is healing. So intuit, feel into how long you need, slowly, gradually get back into communicating with others a little bit more. Might be a few days, might be a week, and be open to letting your emotions be felt. Be open to extra rest, proper nutrition, stay hydrated, journal, and take the time to just observe through this way of wonderment. Kind of like, well, I'm not really sure what it's about. What could it be? And be open to the possibilities and see what flows through for you. So this is after your session. You're open prior to receiving messages and signs and guidance. Be open during to feel the energy, feel the emotions, feel the lightness and the peace just rush over you. Sometimes in the sessions, we relax so deeply that we just leave the body and it's like we fell asleep, but we really, left to go into spirit for conversation or to allow the physical body to just receive without our mind trying to analyze the whole thing, presently analyzing. So there's a lot of different aspects and reasons, but just know that no matter what, it should be an enjoyable and beautiful experience that will provide even an initiation to a shift. And then afterwards, it will continue. So journal and again, see what messages come up for you. So to that point, I had another message come up today because, there have been conversations around my experience, and I'm so grateful that you all are very receptive to hearing about it, and you're so kind and gracious in your replies and responses, and I really appreciate it so much. But like I was having a conversation as I was cleaning the kitchen, and thoughts were coming to me, and I just felt this huge burst of light in my heart. Like, I need to share this. Let's get on, let's get in front of the mic, because I think this is a strong message for all of us. Not only is it for me, but I really have a strong feeling that this might be for you too. So if so, let me know. But it's about the vibration of balance. And a lot of times in this life, we think, well, I was there for this person and they weren't there for me. Or, like this tit for tat kind of thing. And I just want to stress, like, that's not how spirit works. That's not how energy works. That's not how karma works. When you think about one individual day, week, month, year, or lifetime. And that's the key tip right there, lifetimes. So flow with what feels good in your heart. And if you feel fatigued and things are out of balance because you're now exhausted, make sure you take the time for self-care and regulation. And then you can address it and discern after if the relationship truly is out of balance or if you just extended yourself in all aspects of life. But when it comes down to working through time and space with past lives, contracts, karma, relationships, in that way, you might find that you are giving a little bit more in this reality and in this life. And that can very well be to just kind of like give back or balance that relationship for what happened in the past. So when we approach the world and life with an open heart, where we're giving to the level that we can, that's healthy for us, helps us to stay successful on our life path, doesn't drain us or create a distraction. And when we come from a scenario with, when we address it with compassion and look at it from a higher perspective, it really can help us to heal. So that when there are closings and transitions, you can leave feeling like, okay, thank you so much. I have all of this love in my heart, a lot of gratitude. I'm sending so many blessings, and I really appreciate the time that we were able to spend together in this life or in this moment, however long it might be. So I just want to share that with you, let you know that not only do we have experiences where others bless our lives, but know you are blessing others' lives as well. And even if it's for a brief encounter, if it's through a conversation with a stranger standing in a checkout line, if it's allowing a car to go in front of you while you're driving down the street, there's all these little minor, what we would say, minute, minor moments that can mean the world to somebody, because you don't really know what they're going through, or if that message can then begin to resonate for them weeks out into the future. So I just wanted to share with you about the aspect of balancing and how you really don't want to just so much put it in black and white down on paper. It's not like that. If you feel that you are giving and you feel perfectly fine in your heart, that you gave more in a relationship, and it can be that was an agreement. That could be karmic frequencies. It can be just, the love like you want to give back to somebody in the now moment in this life, or potentially it could be from the past. So sometimes we get really hard on ourselves if we feel drained and depleted, like, oh man, was I taken advantage of? Or did I let that go a bit too long? So know that there's other aspects that can be playing out behind the scenes, and sending love, forgiveness, blessings, happiness, like happy, positive vibes when you feel it's appropriate will help you to release and move forward. And I find it super interesting that just came through my mouth, when it's appropriate, because I can hear some of you that are really saying, no, well, in my situation, that's not appropriate, And so, okay, cool, right? Because there's like all different kinds of experiences. So maybe in your situation, it's a firm boundary. And maybe you were feeling that it's quite the opposite, that actually lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, you were taken advantage of. And in this time, a moment, it was time for you to put that boundary and stand up and be like, no, sorry, I'm all taxed out, no energy to give right now, whatever it might be. I'm just sharing with you a little bit of a deeper aspect to it. And also, I wanted to pop on and share some tips for having your own energy session when you're not quite sure why you're guided to go. So be open to your dream states after every energy session. Be open to the daydreaming moments. Be open to seeing the signs and the conversations that surround you, because the messages can continue to unfold. And for myself, it hasn't even been a full week since my session, and still I'm observing, I'm feeling, I'm integrating, I'm looking at things, and I'm receiving other little nuggets of information that are really helping me. For example, yesterday I said to my husband, I know there's a strong potential that I might cross paths with one of these people from a past life, but it's a funny position to be in, because I understand that in the past it was not a good relationship. They were one of the ones that I can feel it, get emotional, that you would say betrayed me, and my life ended because of this betrayal. But in this life, like, we've had a pretty good relationship. And so, like, we're not even that close. I wouldn't even call us friends. I would say we're more of acquaintances, but we might be crossing paths. And I'm like, it's so interesting to go within myself and say, geez, having felt all these emotions, having a little bit of awareness that they're not aware of, and that's fine, that's how it goes. How would I approach that if I had this conversation? And so it's this level of inner wisdom, being really healed around it. And I feel like I'm not going to bring it up. Why do that? It's not important. Like, it's not going to benefit anything. So do I approach this relationship, if I were to meet them again in this life, with such an accepting and open heart? And as I fell into that, I was so surprised because my heart kind of stopped for a moment. Like it just stopped and it was like, don't go there. Like that's done. You don't have to overextend a warmth. It can just be a casual hello, like really cordial and great. But sometimes when I'm with friends and stuff, like that's just who I am. I like to extend an overwhelming warmth. And when I see that, sometimes it's like this air hug, like you feel, oh, hey, big hugs kind of a thing. But in this experience, I was surprised to feel I was guided by how my body responded to, no, it's okay. Like you can wish them the best, but you don't have to exchange energies in such an intimate, extra friendly kind of a way. And I was really surprised. But hey, we're learning, we're growing. The wisdom is there. And again, it's because, like, once something's kind of healed and cleared, do we really want to go back to it? In this situation, I would have to say no. It's somebody that probably, this lifetime, I think that we played out our parts. Yeah, we played our roles. We're good. So I'm just going to leave you with that. A little bit of something to think about, kind of, a part of my day, what's going on, a little bit of tips. And I'm sure you all have these inner thoughts as well, but it is funny. It is funny when you're navigating multiple lifetimes through a now moment experience. And it's really interesting when we start to look at things from a higher perspective, a spiritual space. So what really got me into thinking about this at the very beginning of, somewhat my awakening were the books by Dr. Brian Weiss and Dr. Michael Newton, Journey of Souls, Destiny Souls, Life Between Lives, Many Guides, Many Masters. So if you haven't heard about their work, check it out. I mean, it's amazing. These are hypnotherapists. They're doctors, and they didn't really believe in past lives so much from my recollection, but spontaneously their clients were going into past lives and receiving the most beautiful healings, deep level insights, spiritual messages were coming through, and it's all documented and it's beautiful, and they were surprised. So I love that part. Like, oh, okay, they just went in and here it was, it happened. And so what they share in their books are a little bit about soul level contracts, the agreements that we make, and the roles that we play with each other in this life. And then what does it look like from a higher level perspective? Wow, those insights, those insights really helped me to heal in my young years as a young adult, like 20 years ago. So hope you all enjoy. I'll leave the links below in the show notes, and please, whatever platform you're on, if you find that this has really supported and helped you, go ahead, like, subscribe, leave 5 stars, all the jazz, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next episode.